So when that ball gets too far away from our ankle over here, you lose power, you lose accuracy, and you lose consistency. The three things that we want to be able to have. I'm gonna try to get the ball away from my ankle as possible without dying.
And it wasn't.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna talk about fixing amateur releases. And Brad, the #1 problem we see in amateur releases is that ball getting way too far away from our ankle. It's also one of the most annoying things to fix because it's very hard to fix. So what are some reasons why that ball starts to get away from our ankle? Or I should also say, what's the importance of getting that ball close to our ankle?
So we want that ball, when we're releasing it, to be closer to our foot than not very close to our foot, for a few reasons. And it basically comes down to just your ability to control the ball and have balance and just make sure like you're the one in control.
Yeah.
Because if we get in a position where most really good bowlers have the ball under their head pretty much at the release, you obviously can't go closer to the ankle, but anytime it bounces out here, we run into a lot of problems that we wouldn't if it was right here. And there's obviously something going wrong that's causing us to get around it like that. And it has to do with something going left to right.
Yeah, get in that position again right there. When your ball is close to your ankle here, you know, you have the ability to manipulate your release. This is a powerful position. This is also an accurate position because the ball is right under our head. As soon as that ball gets out here, for one, a 15-pound object getting this far away from your center of gravity over here, you're not gonna be able to do anything with it.
Feels like it's 50.
You're also not gonna be able to be on the inside of it like we preach, because there's no way you're strong enough to release a ball like this. You have to chicken wing it, so you're kind of stuck into this release. And it's also, you're not gonna be able to be very accurate. So when that ball gets too far away from our ankle over here, you lose power, you lose accuracy, and you lose consistency. The three things that we wanna be able to have. You can't do any of it really from being out here.
You wanna try and throw a shot the
Oh
bad
yeah,
way?
okay, yeah. All right, I wonder, I've actually never tried to do this.
I was gonna say, this is gonna be hard for you.
I'm gonna try to get the ball away from my ankle as possible without dying. We're gonna go a little slow here.
And it wasn't. It wasn't at all.
Seriously?
Looking at that replay, you had the exact same spot. At the end, you kind of flipped it and did this, but
No
it
way.
literally just got in the same spot, and then you went like
That was
this.
me I felt like that ball was out here.
I could see you
Which,
trying it.
You
but
know
that's
what?
How hard it is.
I want the fact that it was there. I want to revisit that point later when we're talking about fixing it. So remember where I felt like it was out here, but it was still here. That's a good point to revisit. But anyway, go ahead, Brad.
It just shows how often we've been bowling, you know, because we've pretty much ran into every problem you can possibly have. So some variation of this, the ball not being in a very good controlled spot, we've had to deal with a lot. And like you just saw, like you tried to do something, that ball was in the gutter 30
there's
feet
no
down
way
the
that
lane.
ball was
So
away
okay,
from my
so now
ankle.
you have to do that same release, but keep it on the lane.
All right.
You could probably keep it on the lane, but you're not going to be comfortable
No.
on where.
Dude, that had to be, that was out
No.
here. It had to be.
No.
There's
You're-
no
you're-
way.
You're still. I mean, I don't
Okay.
know. Maybe it's a little out there, but let me try.
Yeah, go ahead. Do it.
All right. So this is gonna be crazy.
We now average 180 because we made
I'm
this
almost
video.
just gonna dangle my ball right here and keep it out here the whole time. Here we go.
I think you can do this. What are we? I mean, that was definitely far away from your ankle. That was
I'm pretty good at that.
that was something.
A little spin biscuit helicopter. Take 3 off
Okay.
the left.
All right.
I'm gonna start bowling like that.
No, do not. Reel it back in. Brad, what are some reasons that the ball gets away from our ankle that people can start to identify?
Well, we're probably just trying too hard. I mean, and there's just a lot of things that can go wrong in the bowling game. I mean, to have a perfectly straight swing with some perfectly straight steps and this perfect everything, like it's much easier to mess that up. Okay, so we feel naturally, the pros do as well, that we have to generate something. We have to create something. We have to like make sure the ball hits the pins at this extremely powerful, and we always just like, there's always the game. That's why we love the game. It just makes you feel a little uncomfortable because we like to try too hard. But we know some of the greatest bowlers, I mean, it's just so simple, just straight back, straight forward, balls in a very powerful position because it's right under our head. And then the people that really get round, it could be your swing, and it could be really the area at the foul line close to your release.
Okay, so if we talk about the foul line here, like what are we talking about exactly?
So more than likely, you're probably sliding away from where the ball path actually is. So your slide is probably not straight. So let's take like this in a 5-step approach, the 4th and the fifth step, the power step and the slide, you're probably either sliding away from the ball, the path of your release, or you're coming in from the left and then sliding this way, causing the ball to have momentum to the right. Either way, we're laterally kind of getting jacked up.
That lateral movement, if your ball was gonna come down just like right here next to your ankle, but you're sliding this way, now we're creating more space here. So that happens. Then if we slide in the way of our swing, we have to redirect. Yeah, we have to redirect because your body is not gonna let that ball just smoke your leg. So then we have to redirect. So yeah, that lateral slide movement, you know, sliding left or right can be the culprit of this issue.
Absolutely, and most people don't necessarily slide dead straight. You know, we see a lot of amateurs coming in around from, you know, they have some drift and they come around this way and slide to the right. Very hard to have straight angles and just control of being able to throw it straight to your mark when we're kind of coming in from the left or the right.
Yeah, another big issue that we see is simple alignment in the body and push away. So again, we want that alignment to be, you know, with our footwork and everything, we like straight angles and maybe a little bit of drift, but everything for the most part is going towards the pin. So when we talk about our alignment, you know, we like to make sure that people's wrists aren't super cockeyed like this, and we want to make sure that, you know, the ball is kind of in line with our shoulder here and we're pushing out straight. If our ball is over here and we're pushing to the right, well, that's always gonna make that ball come behind our body. And then like we talked about, we have to redirect our swing away because the body's not gonna let that ball.
Let's play a game. Get in front of me here, face the camera.
Okay.
Swing's behind your, like I'm trying to throw it at the camera, but I can't because your body's actually in the way. It absolutely has to come around your body for it to go in front of you.
Yeah.
If the ball's behind your back, it has no path forward. We have to go left or right.
Absolutely. So paying attention to your approach, paying attention to your simple alignment at the start. You know, Coach Daniel, who coaches in our membership, you know, he says this a lot. I forget where he got it from, but you know, if you have a good start and you have a good finish, a lot of things in the middle just fall into place.
Definitely.
So a lot of times when we want to fix these issues, it's simple things that we can do at the start and at the finish. So Brad, what's the #1 tip here on if we want to start getting that ball closer to our ankle, what would you suggest?
It's a tip that wasn't available 40 years ago. It's a beautiful thing in today's world because bowling, it feels different than what it actually looks, and you can look at yourself with your cell phone. Videotape yourself doing these, the couple tips we're gonna give you to make sure things are straight, because you could work on some things a lot. We've done this a million times of just trying to feel like something and then you see it on video and it's like, oh wow, I'm not even close. But seeing yourself visually on video, you could tell if your slide is coming in this way. You could tell how far away the ball is from your slide foot. And then we can have an idea of progress.
Yeah, you visually need to see it.
It really helps you. Okay, so before we do anything, grab your cell phone, set it up somehow where it films you kind of going this way so you can see some direction. Okay, so tip #2, we're gonna hang out at the foul line right here. And we're trying to really simplify this section, because if you wanted to work on something at the foul line, a direction of where the ball is or where the swing is, and you got 15 steps ahead of it, you know, if we just exaggerate a little bit, it's harder to focus on what's going on with that release down there because your brain's thinking about your steps. So when the tip, we get to the foul line, we do a no step or a one step drill, and that really allows us to just, our brain to focus on the feel of where that ball is.
Yeah, most of the time people don't know that their ball is super far away from your ankle. So you think you're throwing it normal, but the ball is, you know, a foot away from your ankle. So we like to take it to the foul line here and just do no step drills and just literally feel what it feels like to get that ball super close to our ankle, not trying to hit it, not trying to do anything crazy, but you need to know what it feels like to be here as opposed to here, and just get that feel and then just roll the ball. But if you can't get in that position without doing the whole approach and taking it up to the no step, then trying to do the whole approach and just thinking, okay, let me get close to my ankle, do it. Like, it never works that way.
Yeah, and in a lot of ways, if your ball's really far away from your ankle and it's not aligned and we want to get it closer, the feel's tough because you got to almost feel like that ball's going to hit your ankle a little bit. The feel's a little different.
Absolutely.
Well, we don't want to do that with a full approach, man. That could really turn into some bad days of having this full approach and then whacking your ankle on accident because you're trying to get it closer. So that feel is almost, you know, if you do actually hit your ankle a little bit, at least you did a no step with very little momentum on it.
But I hear what you're saying, but I actually think when I see people's balls that are a foot away from their ankle, I tell them to actually try to hit their ankle in their approach.
Yeah.
For sure. Like if you're,
it's hard to actually do it.
Because you're, at some point you need to feel what it feels like for your swing to tuck in. And so another tip is if you do practice this in the full approach, we actually had our clinic a little while back and a guy's bowling ball was all the way out here, and we fixed his alignment, we fixed his slide, everything was pretty good because he's a big dude, kind of has a lot of body to get around. The ball was getting too close, and it's like, hey man, just literally on the downswing try to hit your ankle, because he's so used to just chicken winging, and the ball didn't necessarily get really close to his ankle, but it went from being all the way out here to now it was here. And now if he practices for a week, it'll get closer and closer and closer, especially if he, does some one-step drills, no-step drills, takes it to the foul line. But that feeling of, because your whole feeling, if your ball's getting too far away from your ankle, your whole feeling is this. And this is straight to you. And we need to feel this motion of tucking in. So actually getting that direction of the swing coming down and hitting your ankle, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing.
No. And redirecting your swing is one of the more challenging things. We're not saying this thing is easy. You've probably bowled a long time. Your body wants to swing the ball, a certain way. So when we do make changes like this, that can be relatively difficult. Having a full, it's just tough. It's tough to have all these steps in a big swing and then also actually focus on something that's pretty detailed, which is where the placement of the ball is. And when we get into our approach, our old habits come back into play. The second you kind of stand up there and get in your position, you want to get in that old position. And we're kind of trying to break that anyway a little bit. We're trying to teach ourselves some new tricks. So just kind of going up there and then just simply throwing a ball in a one step kind of breaks us out of our shell a little better.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say, so now we've talked about doing the one steps, trying to hit our ankle, and then also videoing ourselves. Another tip is we talked about on issues is having proper alignment.
Yes.
So what are some things, Brad, to making sure people have proper alignment that are gonna help us, or what are some issues that people have, and then how can I fix it? And how when I'm holding the ball up here, how should I look?
We like there really shouldn't be anything too complicated in this game. If your ball's up really high, that's going to create a lot of potential problems of losing feel back here. If it sticks all the way out to the right, that's going to create some directional problems of the ball tucking in behind your back. So we like to have a really neutral stance. The ball kind of somewhat in line with the right pec in the shoulder right here. We have full control of this ball. It's not causing the weight of Kyle's body to want to go one way or another, because the second this goes this way, the body's going to want to compensate a little bit the other way, and then now we got a little bit of left to right motion going on before we can even get to the foul line. So we say just have a very neutral stance. When you push the ball away, we don't want it going left to right in a direction, because that starts everything. We want it just to be a little bit more in front of us, and that kind of allows the swing slot to be there instead of it wrapping around left to right.
Yeah, and if there's one thing you kind of take from this, I think the overall idea is when that ball gets far from our ankle, a lot of times it has to do with our swing and our feet are have lateral direction in it that is incorrect. And then because those are incorrect, when we get to the bottom, that is causing our swing, either our feet are going this way and our swing wants to come around, any type of that lateral direction is causing that ball to get away from our ankle. So there's not necessarily one reason why your ball is getting far away from your ankle. It can be the feet and it can be the swing alignment, making sure those things are more in straight lines and not going left and right.
Which is why it's very important to make sure you have video, because it'll let you know. All right, everyone, I hope that explains a little bit of a difference between what we see in a lot of amateur releases versus a pro level release, which is just the position that you get yourself in. It's very rock solid at the line.
Yeah, and Brad, I actually have a bonus tip for everybody right now. There's another little thing that you can do to get your ball close to the ankle, and you've probably seen it if you're a YouTube video watcher of tips, and it is trying to do a backup ball. When we try to do the backup ball, for one, I am not gonna be able to back up the ball if my ball is really far away from the ankle. But if I wanna back it up, I'm gonna have to get that ball really close. And we're training our hand to get on the inside here. So I'm gonna back this one up right now. And I've kind of been working on my backup ball here.
Got a new style.
We're gonna try to get close to the ankle here. Back it up.
That was
I need to clearly keep working on it.
I thought there was just going to be a little bit more bend to that ball.
Yeah, me too, but it never happens that way. But that's a little bonus tip for you guys. Trying to work on some backup balls can help you get that feel of being close to your ankle. Again, we appreciate you watching. We do have a free gift in the description. It's a video from our Master of the Lane course teaching you how to adjust on the bowling lane. And yeah, watch it if you'd like, and we'll see you in the next one.
Later.